How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and tonight I am joined by my good friend K12Machinima.
I have a didgeridoo next to me that I bought.
And tonight we're going to be doing our first podcast of Portal, which was released in 2007 by Valve. It has the same mechanics
Yep.
as Half-Life 2, I believe, right?
Yep, it's the same engine that it's based off of.
Nice. Man, this like I said in previous recordings we tried doing for this, I had a real fun time with this game. Some parts I had real trouble on, mainly due to the fact that I didn't understand it. I probably played through this game about multiple times when you first sent it through me through the orange box.
Yeah, I played Portal since the Orange Box came out, and I've actually done playthrough on my channel as well. And it's probably like I don't even know how many at this point, like 50th time playing Portal. Um, it's one of my favorite games. I think it's better than the second game, despite the second game having really good, control. I think it controls better than Portal One. Oh, go away, Java update. No one wants to update you. Um, and I still think Portal One's a better experience.
Oh no, hands down. I feel like it was a good experience. Like I said, I probably played through it multiple times before actually ever finishing it, and it was really fun in my opinion. Like I said, some parts I when I played through it the first time before finishing it, I knew what I was doing. When I finally like, okay, this is my final time playing it because I want to beat it. It's like, how can I forget that? I knew what I was doing and everything, but it's just like, ugh.
I, I still think Portal 1, and I recently played through 1 and 2 on my channel, but I pointed out how in Portal 1, there's a lot more solutions to the puzzles, whereas Portal 2 is way more linear and there's not as many solutions. It's more like find the mechanic, whereas Portal 1 was more, well, not all of it, but most of it was pretty much like, here's all the room, figure it out, and then the challenge maps really like point that out pretty well when you're playing through them.
Now, are the challenge maps? They're just basically like the ones you'd play, be playing on the store mode, right?
Yeah, it's up to the point where you get the orange portal, and I think it's all the way till the one before you do the final bit after, like the psych out with the cake. It's like the chamber before that. They're all different ones, and I like that because Portal 2 doesn't really have that kind of replayability. Like I've watched this video a few times now, but I mean, there's parts where I'm like, oh yeah, you can do that. I didn't even think of that because there's so many like different ways of solving the puzzles. Whereas like Portal 2 is like, oh look, here's the light beam. It only goes here. You can't use it for anything else. If you do, you're gonna die in
Yeah.
real life.
No, I mean, like I said, this was a fun experience. I would not play this game again, just mainly due to the fact how much of a pain in the ass it was. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a fun game. I really, really enjoyed it, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, it kind of gets a little repetitive
Yeah, I
towards the
think that's
end.
what. Yeah, that's one thing I could complain about Portal 1 too is you can also like there's only so many mechanics in the game, whereas Portal 2 has more mechanics, I think. And I think Portal 2 is more fun mechanically to play. Portal 1's a better experience. I guess that's I've played Portal 1 and 2. You've only played the first one. And here you make a mistake.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I
I'm gonna point it out.
I make a bunch of I either undershoot it or overshoot it. And some, like I said, the first time I played this game, and mind you, when I first started playing this game, I was playing on mouse and keyboard before I was like, oh, huh, I can use my PlayStation 4 controller through the rest of this game. And it was sort of easier. My controller was wigging out so bad, and it's just I don't think my computer was used to oh, what's this thing? This is not right. This is not good. Because I had that same
Something's fucking here.
I had that same issue when we would play um Left 4
Was it
Dead.
Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, no, it was
I
so
remember it
much
was.
worse. Oh, just the random, like I said,
Yeah, I
I
have that issue too sometimes. I do have a controller. I mean, I use it for a couple of other games. Like I have a Sega Genesis on Steam. They have like a collection. Every now and then it just doesn't input your I don't know. I think it's just a USB thing no matter what.
well, I wasn't using a USB. I was just using a wireless controller because my computer, almost any computer will have that option of hooking up via Bluetooth, which this computer
I've
does.
never done that. I'm weird. I've never actually done that.
No, it works, sort of. Mind you, this computer, is not an actual gaming computer. This is a regular Acer computer. I'm eventually looking forward to upgrading to an actual gaming laptop, and then getting an actual PC, just mainly so I can play games like Ark, 7 Days,
Yeah,
Raft, Forests, and any new game that comes out.
I mean, I started using. Oh God, I had like this really I still have. I actually gutted it not too long ago. I actually had like a really bad like Acer, or it was either Acer or Avio, one of the two, and it was like no graphics card. It was like barely a functioning graphics card. Like I could only play RuneScape and maybe like this kind of. And I actually played through all of them, and I remember Portal would like hiccup like crazy because it was so beefy for it, despite the computer not being that old. I mean, but yeah, then I just upgraded to like what was it, a Asus G750. Then I got an HP Pavilion DV6, and then I got what I use now is an HP Omen. I do want to make my own computer though. It's worth it. It's fun. I
Oh,
mean,
I
it's
I,
a time.
I definitely
It's a
don't.
time thing.
I don't doubt. I mean, I think anyone would love to have their own computer. Like I said, I would love to have my own gaming computer so I can eventually potentially start going on Twitch. Like I've seen so many people on Twitch lately. It's not even funny.
I have a Twitch, and anyone who follows me, I've actually never addressed this. I I don't actually really have an interest in streaming. I mean, it's just I find the stuff I do when I'm not making a video is kind of boring. Like what I've been doing recently is I've just been I had to reinstall a couple things. I had a dying hard drive, then I had to replace a fan, but and then I had like an ear infection. So either way, I'm finally able to do something. But I don't think anyone's gonna want to watch me like I can imagine people want to watch me live stream games, but usually I don't play video games that often when I'm bored. I'd usually just play like I'm working on a Doom project right now, so I'm not really I have that going and just like testing and coding and texturing things and in the background I'm doing woodcutting and RuneScape, so I don't think anyone's gonna want to watch that
So
for like
what's
3 hours.
if you don't mind me asking, what's your Doom project going to be about? Is it like a mod or
Uh,
something or?
Yeah, I mean, you can I actually need to post a video on this because I do have a public beta on Doom World for it, but it is it's called a oh god, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. I feel stupid. It's been a weird day, but basically, it is a mod. It's a entire remake of the entire game using the engine itself, and then just made it a little own self-contained story. It's just like a expansion campaign, basically.
Kind of like a
It's
DLC
really
in a way.
yeah, and it's free. I don't actually want to have people charge that. I mean, I'm 5 maps into it out of 30 so far, so I'm excited, and I have another one up there too that's actually finished. I'm not really proud of it. It's called Ulcer. Um, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I made it like 2 years ago. I made half of it when I was with my ex girlfriend too, and it was actually because I played Dusk. Had just come out, and I was like, I want to get into this again.
Dusk. What is that?
So
What does Dusk sound so familiar?
it came out for Steam, I think, 3 years ago. It was a retro Quake style, like FPS game. It's kind of like the first two Dooms and Quake One put together.
I,
It's
s-
really fun.
I swear I've heard of it back when I was like back in high school.
It's pretty new. I mean, I don't actually know when it came out. I didn't buy it until it was actually in like the final like chunk of it was released, which was a big inspiration. It was really fun. I mean, the game is just super solid and really smooth. It even has like a slider for adjusting the game's graphic fidelity. I think the most it says is like pixels is like
Ugh.
the slider says chunky if you want a lot of
Oh
pixels.
man, don't get me started on graphics and quality of games because like I said, I tried playing Hitman on this computer
Oh,
when I
the
first
first one?
yeah, no, not the original like for Xbox, the one that came out for, PS4 and,
Oh,
Xbox
that
One.
one.
Like it ran smoothly when I was on the main menu, but once the game actually started, even lowering the resolution and the graphic quality just didn't do
It's the,
anything.
it's the most violent slideshow ever.
Oh yeah, the frame rate was just so bad. It's just like just
Yeah,
you barely move and it's like just like 1 inch.
God, it's like I remember running. Oh, what was it? To tangent about RuneScape here for a second. I remember actually there used to be two settings in the game. It was fancy and normal, and like fancy graphics would just like push my old computer to like the limit, and it just wouldn't run properly, despite it being a browser game. It was fun. I remember people like, "Oh man, my friend can run RuneScape on max." Ooh, it's like one extra polygon.
Now,
But
I
oh yeah,
will say I am happy that my computer is able to run games like this, Half-Life
yeah,
1 and
they're
2.
they're
Well,
pretty non-demanding.
I
I
mean,
mean, if you don't bump up the quality super high.
this computer of mine is like a 2017 Acer, and this game came out like in 2007. I've learned as long as like certain games could run, I'm sure I can even run like Minecraft because that game is,
It
considered
takes a lot
ancient
of
now.
yeah, but the only problem with Minecraft is it depends on which version. Like if you're using the Java version or if you're using the Microsoft version, it just requires so much processing power. That's like you can have the best rig ever. Like even my friend Ian's computer is like stupidly tanky, but it chugs it like Minecraft for no reason.
Man, no, like I said, I love I can play games like this, and it runs so smooth. I'm looking forward to eventually playing. I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe it can run Portal 2. I don't know yet.
Portal 2 is pretty easy. I actually ran Portal 2 on a really not that great computer, and it ran just fine. I even was able to run Counter Strike Global Offensive pretty easily on that old one, so it's not like very much different from this. The lighting effects are a little bit better, and that's really kind of about it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to playing Half-Life 2 after I finish the first Half-Life game because I've noticed like the main menu style is the same as, this one and the
Yeah, they have
graphics and everything are the
the
same.
little yeah, they have like the same stuff in the background for whatever chapter you're on, plays in the background while you're on the main menu. I love that.
Yeah,
TF2
no,
used to do that, I think, but then they had like their own splash screen and everything. I love the style of those Valve games.
man, no. I mean, I think what didn't Valve create Half-Life Alyx or was that a different company?
Yeah, that was Valve.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I mean, I feel so bad because I recently played through Black Mesa and I went on this like 5 minute rant about how much I'm like, let's see if I can replicate my tone. Fucking Half Life Alex. No one, everyone already knows the end of the story. Like it's just gonna be like the whatever. We're just playing from out. No, I was totally wrong. The entire story actually changed. I watched like a video right after that and was like, oh, that was a
Now,
mistake.
I was looking at Half-Life Alyx and I know it's VR.
Yeah,
I would like to see if they would make Half-Life Alyx non-VR, like how you can do with the first Half-Life and second and like Portal and everything.
yeah. I wish they'd do that because I like some of the mechanics in that game. Like I feel like you could make it a normal game, but I feel like a lot of the tech is too
Oh
integrated with the
no.
VR.
No, because I was watching a YouTuber play Half-Life and they were able to like pick up a pen and write on like stuff.
Well, I hope that's a mod because that's pretty
No, no,
cool.
that's not a mod. That is actually in VR. You can pick up stuff like crush cans and stuff with VR. Like the
That's cool.
stronger you grip the VR controller, the quicker you can crush the can. I think the
If people,
YouTuber's I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but yeah, she was playing Half-Life Alyx, and
oh, I think talking about the first one. I was like,
oh
what the
no,
hell? There's a mod for that already?
oh
That's
no, no,
insane.
I'm talking about Half-Life Alyx, and just
Oh,
on the topic of VR, just imagine if they made, and I brought this up before the last time we tried recording this, a VR for Portal. Now,
oh god, that would. I don't think.
bear
I
with
think
me.
that would make you sick.
Oh, what VR? does it nowadays. But like
I've actually never used one.
I've I've the only VR I've ever done is like the VR arcade machines you see at arcades now. Like for example, this arcade at mini golf course where I live, they have a VR roller coaster, Raving Rabbit game.
That's kind of crazy. I
Oh
haven't even been to an arcade in so long.
no, man, I just um, it's pretty fun. And yeah, no, I think I just I think on the plus side, a VR portal would be cool. On the downside, like you said, it would make people sick, especially like when you do like the flinging, when you have to
Yeah,
fling
actually, I
yourself.
remember. Yeah, the first time I played this game, it's one of the few games that ever made me motion sick, and that never happens. And this was like 2007, whatever, when I played this. I was like, "What the hell? This is weird." I played first-person shooters before, but it was just something about the momentum and my brain just trying to wrap itself around it. Because I played this when I was like 12 the first time. I was like, "This is just crazy."
Yeah, no, I have to
I hope
say
no,
this.
I hope no one can hear that raging storm that's outside right now.
I, if I was hearing that, my mic would be picking it up and everything, but I don't think it
Okay.
can. So yeah, you're all good. Like I said,
I,
this
I have not seen this puzzle actually solved in a long time.
I and bear with me, I had to go on YouTube to figure out this puzzle because certain parts in this game, are like you'll know I had to look on YouTube because like if you watch if you watch my actual videos, which I'm gonna be putting at the end of this, I'll put the playlist of the whole thing. You'll see that it took me quite a bit to like how does this especially this part
Yeah,
right here. This
yeah,
was like this was timed. I like
yeah. Because I've solved this like this before, but the only problem is I saw it a long time ago because this is one of the challenge maps you can do, and you can actually fling yourself from where that launcher is right there. Like so, if you're right here, you shoot down. Those stairs actually lower when you're not over there,
yeah,
and then you
I've
just shoot. Yeah, you just shoot yourself up there. I've actually forgotten how this puzzle's like worked.
yeah, like I said, I this game was like only a one-time playthrough. I would never want to play it again just because how much of a pain in the ass it was, but if I did, I would like at least know like I could watch my YouTube like, okay, that's how I maybe I could try a little something different.
Yeah,
Um
I'll admit I've played this a lot, but I mean that's the problem with puzzle games in my opinion is they once you figure them out, that's like usually the only solution. It's not like in Half-Life where the AI can react. Actually, have you ever played the first Fear game?
I've never played Fear, but I've seen gameplay for it and it isn't that wasn't that made by no wait, no Fear wasn't made by Valve.
No, it was Monolith.
Oh god, there's a game I remember when Fear came out, like it was a game I wanted to play, but it was apparently dark. And then
It's so spooky.
you realize the one thing I like about Fear on that topic is like when you realize that the main villain that girl is the mother of the characters you play as.
Yeah, that was kind of lame, but I mean, I played it up until the third one. I was like, all right, this is weird. The ending was just kind of dumb, but yeah, the gameplay in that is really, really solid. I always want to do a series on it, but I don't think the game is engaging enough to like make a good video series for it. Maybe I'll do it in the future, but the soldiers you fight in it are so dynamic and they all act differently. Like they all have their own little like quirks and stuff, and they have like different call outs. Every time you play it, it's almost entirely different. And that's I think that's why Fear or even the first Half Life, they're really fun to go back to because the AI is so different each time you play it, and each like that encounter in Half Life you were just talking about earlier with the like the worm area like right after that the power up section like where just you'll probably know what it is when you see it, but it's the one where all the soldiers are like nested in and you have to go in and flush it out and like restore power. Like that whole part that plays different every time I play it. It's so cool because I know where everything's at, but everything reacts different, and I think that's what makes a good game like in general.
The one thing I like about Black Mesa, 'cause I was looking into it, is like they in the original Half Life, all the AIs, the NPCs, they're all the models are still the same. They basically pull a Toy Story, if you will, an Andy. Because if you watch Toy Story, all of Andy's friends are the same face model, but we do not see Andy's mom. Like
I
it,
think you see a side shot of her face, maybe.
kind of, but it's one genius thing I love about games back then is that their budget was limited. So in
Yeah.
order to save money, they just figured, okay, we're gonna give like five of these guys the same face model, these guys the same face model, and all the soldiers like the same, maybe a different skin tone here and there.
Yeah, there is, I think, no, they're all different. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's weird. There's some coding like that in Half-Life 2. They're just called so all the Valve properties like this rely on like body groups. So they have the same skeletal animations and everything, except they'll just have like a different like if it's a different colored turret or whatever. It would just be like the portals themselves would just be the portal model with different things. So it makes it a bit easier, but it's kind of like that in the first Half-Life, yeah. And then Black Mesa, you get like a little bit more variance in how everything
And
looks.
diversity and everything, because when I was watching your gameplay of it and gameplay in general of it on YouTube, I see that they have female scientists in it.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of strange. I've always like you'd assume there'd be well, there is in canon there are female Black Mesa workers.
Oh,
There's There's actually in the PlayStation 2 port of Half-Life, there was actually a like small little campaign where you took on there's supposed to be the other two scientists that are in the facility. Like when you go in and you first go in, you get your HEV suit. There's supposed to be the other two like people that took those next two suits after you got in there. So that's kind of cool. I thought, and then
yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I think Judith Mossman in Half-Life 2 may have worked at Black Mesa. There is like a staff photo in a couple areas in Half-Life 2 that I do show the staff. So there is definitely females. It was just probably harder for them to animate like oh no, we have the same player model. Like all the scientists have the same body. They just have a different head and like some skin tone. That's about it.
Oh
So they probably just
man.
didn't want to animate more.
Well, I mean,
There's so much there's so much in that
not
game.
to mention, it would have probably cost the developers and all of them a lot more money to like, add in like an
Yeah, and
actual
that was
like female
actually
characters.
Yeah, that was actually Valve's first like IP in general. I think it was actually their first game was Half-Life, so they had a very low budget. I think they spent most of their money on just licensing a independent version of the Quake engine to play the game through. And it's crazy to think that now they're like a huge like juggernaut in gaming. That's why even though like it's not an extra Half-Life game, technically like Half-Life 3 or whatever. I mean, like Valve has always been about pushing the boundary of game design, and even Portal to rope a dope back in here. Um, like Portal was a huge deal when it came out. It's still considered one of the best games of all time,
Oh no,
and it
hands down it is.
yeah.
Would you classify Portal in like the indie game section or like the main game industry section?
I mean, it was made by a really small company. I mean, it was published by Valve, but it was made by I think the company that made it. I think the only game they'd made before that was Narbacular Drop or something like that, and they were really small. Valve just kind of said, "Hey, you guys want to work for us and put some work in, and we'll make you a deal." And they said, "Sure." So it pretty much was an indie game. They did that with Counter Strike. They did that with what else? Team Fortress, and I think Dota 2 as well. Like Dota 2 was originally, I think, a Warcraft mod. Yeah, it was a Warcraft mod because it's
I've never played Dota. If you don't mind me asking, what does Dota mean, or is it just Dota in general?
defense of the ancients, and it's like League of Legends, but well, they're about the same. I couldn't tell you. I never liked MOBAs. I had friends that liked them, and I was like, you guys are strange.
I've never played League of Legends. I remember that was like the biggest thing back in high
Probably
school.
good.
It was just like,
Yeah, I even remember this teacher like going up behind this kid he was like a really he sounded like this. I'm not exaggerating. And so he had this like notepad and he was writing in it. This was right when League had just come out. And he's like, she's like, so I'm just going to leave his name out. So Billy Willie, what are you doing over there? Well, I'm calculating my damage about the new thing. But if I choose this hero and I get to this, I can do this much damage. And then like the teacher is like this 70-year-old woman who just probably has no idea what the hell anything he's saying is. And she just says, well, Billy Willie, it looks like your damage will have to wait until after class. So can you please do your homework? It's the funniest memory of that game I have. Just your damage will have to wait. It was the subtle way she said it was so funny. I've never forgotten that.
I remember the acronym that they had for League of Legends back in the day was they called it LOL.
LOL. Yeah, that's
like for World of Warcraft they had WoW and
wow.
It's just a
CS:GO. That's my other favorite one. CS:GO sounds like a mobile game.
What's CS:GO?
Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
that does sound like a knockoff.
Hey guys, you want to go play some CS:GO? Sure, Billy Willie. Let's trade guns and stab each other. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like COD. I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible. I just say Call of Booty.
Just be a man and call it Call of Duty. Like, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I used to be a Call of Duty fan. I'm a fan of.
Me too,
I'm a fan of the original that came out for PS2, and also a fan of like the Modern Warfare series and Black Ops. The first Black Ops games. This is back when I can't remember the name of the company that makes Call of Duty.
Activision.
Thank you. I liked it when they weren't releasing the new game like every year.
That was one of the reasons I stopped. It's too expensive.
Like Ubisoft is with their Assassin's Creed games. It's like just be like,
give it time.
Just be like Rocksteady. Rockstar.
I was like Rocksteady, like Bebop and Rocksteady.
No, Rocksteady is another gaming company. Rocksteady is they're the developers who make the Batman Arkham series.
They made quite a few of those.
I'm talking about Rockstar. Why not be like Rockstar? Yeah. Make a game release a game like every 7 years or so. But I know
that's a table tennis game.
But then again, I know with games like Ubisoft has a bunch of different companies, so one company will work on this game while the other company's like working on this game, and then a year later it's like, oh hey, we've been working on this game for so long, here's a new game that we should wait to announce.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with Dark Souls. Was they released Demon Souls, which didn't do super well, and then they released Dark Souls, which did really well. And then a separate team that was part of From Software, which was the developers, made Dark Souls 2. It got universally kind of mixed reviews. I still like it. And then Dark Souls 3 came out, and it was made by the original team that made the first game. And you can tell the difference in quality.
Oh, definitely. And if I'm not mistaken, I know we're off topic here, but Demon Souls was how it all started, right?
Yeah. And if I actually have... Oh God, it's rough. But my playthrough of Kingsfield 1, which was the series that made Demon Souls kind of a thing, it was a weird, if you've ever played Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, any of those games, it's like that, but really, really, really old. And then with this really archaic, just if anyone's ever played, oh God, what's it called? A Heretic or Hexen, the combat in that series, just picture that, but with Daggerfall's mazes and dungeons put together. It's a hell of a mess. It's not great. The first game's solid in the Kingsfield series, and then the second one is okay. Then the third one, which is the fourth one because it was a translation issue thing, and it's okay. And then you have Demon Souls, which is a totally different kind of game.
Yeah,
which I like. I like it though.
I actually played Morrowind years ago. Oh God.
You'll
I
never unhear that.
I was not a fan of Morrowind. Just the mechanics, the fighting mechanics. Like you had to crouch down just to
Yeah,
attack
it's bad.
something.
It's really
It's
bad.
I don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of the Elder Scrolls series, but the mechanics for Morrowind's like, oh, there's an enemy, like a rat. You have to crouch down just to.
The combat in that game is weird because it's a mixture of Daggerfall, but like a rudimentary version of Oblivion. But if you continuously start drinking fatigue potions in the beginning, it's a lot more manageable. But in the beginning, it's like, what the hell is this? It's it's a real. This is that puzzle I keep referring to. I'm like, I had no idea you could solve it this way
I had to go on YouTube to
because
look this up
I always
because
bounce.
like I said, I looked on YouTube because
That
I
that
gave
doesn't
up.
look right.
I
I've seen that like 4 times. It still doesn't look right.
I
That That's like a collision issue. I'm pretty sure that's why it's doing that.
again, like I said, I had to go on YouTube just to find that. It's like, how am I supposed to? Because, like I
It,
said, even this part, I managed to get through one time playing it, and then when it came back, because it didn't save, I I forgot how to do it. I had, like you said, most of this game, I had to go on YouTube to look.
yeah,
How do I like
I
grab
I
my?
feel like that's I still feel like that the way you solved it was like I don't think that's how you're supposed to actually solve that
I got.
because I think that that looks like it's hitting the barely the edge of the collision box on that. That's I think that's a lucky way that that works.
I'll admit I did get lucky halfway in this game because, like I said, most of the parts I had to go on my phone. It's like, oh, okay, I'll try it that way. Completely did it the different ways. Like, I'll take it. I'm not gonna complain that I just somehow magically just got through that. And like, it was just,
It does. Portal 1 and 2 do have their kind of aha moments that I do like.
like, oh, so that's how
Yeah,
you can do it. Okay.
this is the only time you ever see this ball, by the way. This is actually like programmed to never break. I think you might see it in the challenge maps, but that's literally just a reskinned combine ball. The pellets are actually reskinned combine balls from Half-Life 2 as well.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to playing Half-Life 2 and seeing like
It's good.
the similarities and Easter eggs, from Portal because I think you were saying that the Half-Life series and Portal series are somewhat connected in the same universe or something.
Yeah, and they do establish that more in actually because Portal 2 was released after Episode 2, or I think they were in the same development for Half-Life 2. And you there's actually a pretty big story connection between the two in the ending of Episode 2, and even Portal 2 to an extent kind of still has it. You actually can find a thing that is referenced in Episode 2, like the entire like it's a literal like oh wow, Eli wasn't full of shit. It really did. It's a really cool moment. I love that. It's a really even GLaDOS references. I don't know what's going on out there. She references they, which is kind of implied to also be the Combine. You got nuked here.
I undershot it. It was just, mind
I
you,
think I've done that at least once.
again, I was playing a controller, so sometimes I would get the orange and blue portals kind of mixed up. It's like, wait, that crap. Like I
Yeah, I
said, in
don't.
my series of because like I have it named Portal Season 1 because the second Portal games could be called Season 2, just like I'm going to do with the Half-Life series.
Yeah,
I was I kept on mixing up my controls because I don't like looking at my controller when I'm playing because I have that good memory
I don't
where
either.
you don't need to look at your controller when playing. But it's like, okay, like, wait.
You see, I forgot to mention this these last few times. As those stairs breaking is a really good reference for the game saying, "All right, remember you can't just do simple things like stairs, ladders. Those don't work. You have a gun that shoots portals. Figure it out." I really like the ending of this game a lot.
Oh yeah, no, it's and
Like
speaking
the
of,
first time you do this too
I
feels good.
so in my series when I get to this part, I didn't realize where you had to go. Like, wait, where am I supposed to go? I didn't even think about going through that gate that that thing first. I thought you had to go back through there. It's like, oh, the game's over. Okay. And then
The g-
I was like,
you
oh
won.
wait. It's like, oh, it's that kind of game. You think you beat it, but there's more to do.
Yeah, the first time I played it, it was an awesome feeling. Like it pulls a really good fast one on you at the very last minute because it's not very long. I mean, I think on average the game's maybe an hour and a half long total. And it just feels like this can't be it. And then oh my god, like the first time you play it, you don't really forget that.
And right here, you'll see a good example of what I mean by when I get my portals colors mixed up.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, I think I read somewhere you can only remember like your short-term memory can only remember a few things at once. Portal 2 kind of makes you do stuff like this every now and then, but it's not as much and it's a little bit more streamlined too.
And you
And
can
they don't
see
even
right there back in that thing, I was so tempted to see if I can I shoot my portal gun there, but it's like, oh wait,
you'd think you could.
the outlines have to be colored in. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, like fuck you, kind of thing. No, I like I said, I really enjoyed this game a lot. It was fun. Again, I would not play it twice. I am looking forward to playing Portal 2. I'm probably gonna play this single player mode first, and then eventually, see what the difference is between the single player and the multiplayer. Because I know in the single player, you're playing as Chell, a completely different character, and
Yeah.
then you were saying in the multiplayer you're playing as robots or something.
Yeah, you're playing as Atlas and Peabody. The story does take place during Portal 2 kind of, I think. Um like I'm not going to spoil why, but yeah, like it's a different campaign, but it uses all the mechanics of the single player, so I do recommend playing the single player first.
Oh, did it end?
Especially since it's a pretty like there's a lot of new stuff they add in Portal 2. Like there's the gels, you have to realize how all the gels can work together and what you can do with the gel. And then there's tons of user maps, but I don't really play those.
Oh, like modded maps in a sense. I'm using quotations when I
Yeah,
say that.
yeah, there was actually a dev tool that came out with Portal 2 and you could develop your own maps with it. It was kind of like Doom 4's snap map feature, but I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of like there's the guy that makes Doom levels for fun, but
Yeah, no,
I don't.
I'm not a big fan of custom maps.
Sometimes they're good.
Especially when Halo 5, Halo Guardians came out with that, where you can like people can create their own custom maps. And I'll admit, as much as I didn't like creating one, I sure loved playing them. There was like a duck hunt one. It was fun. That's the one
Yeah,
thing I
I
like
do.
about that's the one thing I like about online multiplayer games where you can create your own maps. They're fun to play, but you don't want to create one just because it's just too much work.
Yeah, I'll say that right now. I use Slade, Doom Builder, and something else. Like I use a few things whenever I'm working on Doom maps, and it's trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds. Like you have to texture each and everything, and if you're making the programming, you have to know how the programming works. It's not really as hard as it sound. It sounds daunting, and it is. It's not easy, but it takes me like depending on how hard something is. Like one map will take me almost a week plus of just a basic outline of it.
I mean, you have to like again, especially game creators when they're given a hey, all right, you're in charge of this level, you're in charge of this level, you're in charge of this level. It's like kind of the same thing, but when they're doing it, they're having to create like a whole entire level, not just like how in games like Halo where when
Yeah,
you're
you
do
have
when
like
you
presets and everything.
pretty much yeah, like
I
I
do have stuff saved, but it's like coding. I don't have like models saved. Everything I've done, I've had to put in myself.
that just sounds like again. I like playing the maps. I would never create one because like I don't have the
Yeah.
skill or the ability or the time or the patience for that matter to do so.
There's always the problem too of what are people going to make? They're either going to make something that's obscenely difficult, or or they're gonna make something that's way too easy, and then you're gonna find that happy medium. But then someone's gonna say it's too hard, then somebody it's too easy, and I don't know.
It's like, well,
Even
why don't you create one of yours? So yeah.
yeah, then you get people that make like Doom levels where they just put like 8,000 revenants and just say, "All right, get to the end of it," and you're like,
Pass.
okay." I mean, they're real maps. I mean, I'm not even kidding. There's even like joke maps people make called Terry wads, and oh, it's awful.
Terry,
I
what?
Terry wads.
What
They're
and
just intent. They're like yeah, they're like shitpost wads.
oh,
Where
there's
you'll
so they're like troll maps in a sense.
yeah, you'll go into like a really nice looking room. Then like the game will lose control and your character will be teleported into a room, and then it'll say like "I like men" or something on screen while a screaming sound effect starts playing in your ear.
Oh God, that just yeah, no, that's just no, thank you. I don't want my ear to be raped by the sound of something screaming.
Oh yeah. That's why I even have a thing. I used to do reviews of Doom maps, and I even specifically still to this day say I will never do those kinds of ones because they're just not funny to me. They're just awful. Oh God, I don't get it.
Now imagine on the topic of Half-Life, if you could make your own like, so if they could make like a Half-Life 3, right? And they have and you can and like
Yeah.
if I mean not Half-Life but Portal.
Oh
Imagine if
yeah.
they made a Portal 3 and like the challenge maps instead of preset ones, you can make your own challenge map like you can do in Hitman. Uh,
Yeah, where it gives you like random things to do.
I remember that being an option when I was playing Hitman for the Xbox 360. I love creating the creative maps. I even tried creating my own. Like okay, who do you want your target to be? But instead, for Portal, it'd be like okay, pick an area from the game from the story, and then just create however you want the character get through it. Like
Yeah, as much as people hate them, like dailies in World of Warcraft, or there's like the Doom Eternals daily challenges. I like that stuff in games. It gives you a reason to go back to it.
now, if you watch this part right here, I don't know how I did it, but somehow I did some. You'll see it here shortly. I think it's right about here. So I go through here. Wait, no.
I don't. I
No,
was like, I don't think you're supposed to be able to make that.
keep watching. I don't even know how I did it. I just like okay. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh yeah, you like double flinged, but it like
Uh,
hit that pole.
like you can even see that I'm like, nope, I'm not. I'm just gonna keep going because I don't even know how I did
Yeah, there was something like that that happened in
that.
my last playthrough of Black Mesa where I like fell off of a ladder. I thought I was gonna die, and I barely grabbed an edge of a ladder, which just stops all the momentum. And somehow I was like, okay, I'll deal with that. Okay,
Don't remind me of the ladders in Half-Life.
they're the best.
It's like
They're like
it's especially the long ladder,
like super glue.
especially the long ladders in the original Half-Life.
Away.
It's like they put Vaseline on them because this is like before they this is before like how do we make these mechanics work for a ladder,
Vaseline and magnets.
especially in my Half-Life episode 7 episode, and I'd literally entitled it "This Mission uh almost almost broke me." It like you can see why if the unedited version before I did a lot of cutting and trimming because if it just from like it went from like a 40-minute video I think to like a 24-minute video just because I died so much or I didn't know what I was doing or I just got really frustrated with its ladders from hell or it's platform
Yeah,
it involves a lot of platforming and ladders and I wanted to cry
I
almost. I just
I
like
remember making a joke about that in Black Mesa when it first came out. I was actually going to do this because Zen didn't come out at the same time. It was a separate update, and I actually wanted to make a joke video of me saying, "Wow, that was really good. What was the worst thing? Fucking ladders." And then just showing all the times ladders killed me in that game. It was unbelievable.
I think I've been killed more by falling, because the area I was in, there was no the shield barrier thing. So like if you get shocked or poisoned or something, there was not only health things. So it's basically, like a fuck you kind of thing. You just have to not die a whole lot. And I literally had to go on YouTube to learn how to get past certain things. Because especially
Was
with
it the
it was one with it
was it
was
that part where you get flung across the toxic waste off the little tram cart?
that one was actually easy. So when like that tram cart is about to break, and it's like, wait, why is it? Oh crap! Do I have to like? And the ladder is right there, so it's like, why is that ladder there? And then and then I hear the ladder, the elevator's like, oh crap! So I basically had to jump and
Yeah,
it's the ladders and the long ladders in that game. Like certain ladders, you have to time just right to get onto them, or you're fucked basically.
Gordon Freeman, PhD, doesn't know how to operate ladders.
Who? What now?
So Gordon Freeman, PhD, doesn't know how to operate ladders.
He can.
OSHA,
He
OSHA Basic fucking say what's that at Black Mesa?
Gordon Freeman, the man who can beat the living shit out of like creatures with a crowbar, yet can't know how to use ladder.
I think Barney in Half-Life 2 says it best. Great job flipping that switch, Gordon. You know, I can see your MIT education really pays for itself. I don't know if you knew that joke already, but it's really funny the first time. You're like, what?
I just
Like,
I just can't imagine being Gordon Freeman growing up in life and
never
never
speaking words.
no, just picture him as a kid and never in his life has he ever been able to climb a ladder just right. I know it's not Gordon who can't climb ladders. I know the game is made specifically where the game is really touchy. I
It's got a really flexible feel in it.
It's like the beams you have to walk across, like like the walking beams where you have to like put
Yeah,
one foot in front of the other kind of thing. It's like every object, ladders or
you,
beams, are like they just like, okay, all right, just in case someone ever has to go through here, make sure just to coat it with Vaseline, just so you know.
yeah. The game has a very specific sense of momentum that Half-Life 2 doesn't have. Half-Life 2 is really snappy and really responsive. It's almost like the first Doom's controls. It's just really responsive. And plus it's just super fun to play. It feels good to play, I guess.
Oh, I believe it. I can't wait to play it after I play and finish Half-Life because
Yeah,
I don't want to go and like, oh, I'm not gonna finish this game anymore. It's like I know what happens because what you tell me, but I still want to play it just so I can have that
it's really
experience.
good.
Mainly so I
It's
can make a video about it later on for a future podcast, and just so I can tell you how much it sucked.
That's fine.
And then,
When you play it, it feels really modern, actually. If you've played any game in general in the last 10 years, you'll be like, holy crap, this feels really familiar.
oh no, I mean, like I said, I like
It was a big innovator.
the first feature length game I ever played by myself. I want to say was Halo 2, like the first person shooter game by myself was Halo 2, and that was fun. And
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it feels almost like that, yeah.
oh yeah, no, I mean the games like that, it's but then again in Halo, like the ladder mechanics are a lot smoother.
I'm trying, excuse me, I'm trying to remember if there was even ladders in Halo.
I
I've
want
only
to
played up to Reach.
want to say like in multiplayer there were ladders.
I I know there was
It's
grav lifts. I know that.
I want to say there's ladder. It's been so
I
long. I've played, like I said, I've played games where the ladder mechanics are so smooth, but if you're playing Half-Life, like nope, you're gonna like have to. It's like, and plus when your character's moving, mind you, I'm playing on a controller, so when like I'm trying to move my character just right so he doesn't like fall on either side of the ladder, especially when I'm getting to the generator, it it just
You haven't played 150 years of Quake 1 like I have.
The only Quake I ever played was a Quake Arena game where like you and your
Yeah,
friends would
Quake
play.
3.
I guess.
It was straight up just deathmatch. This is wrong in Half-Life, or sorry, in Portal 2. This is on the inside of the base. Valve fucked up.
Just that image in the right hand bottom
Yeah.
corner. You just see that stock photo. I know you're not supposed to like. I know when the robot's dragging you, it doesn't.
Yeah, they didn't even fix this. This was retconned in after Portal 2 came out. They didn't even have that in there to fix it. They're like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just keep the thing in and forget to resize the texturing.
Oh God. Again, I want to thank you for helping me host this first episode of Geeking Out. I'll definitely make sure to put the link to your YouTube channel in the description, along with your, you know,
Oh, and I'll put something up for on my end too. That way, you guys from everyone on my area will see it too.
yeah. Thank you again. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm your host, Wayne the Unknown. Again, I'm joined by K12Machinima. Until next time, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Rock and roll.